people just put out an album, 6 months later they forget about it. And it's like,
Or they too cool to. This is what gets me mad. I get
you
real mad.
was about to say grind
my
your gears.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of that's showing my that's a dad
Right.
a dad
It'll
reference.
grind my gears.
No, really kind of pissed me off, man. When I go to an artist page and can't find no music because they never post it.
Because they too busy trying to be a model.
Like, bro, like you make music, or sis, whatever, you make music. What, you know, I can't hear no music on your page, bro.
Bruh.
Like, you know what? You ain't serious.
Let me tell you what.
You ain't Beyonce. I don't know who you are. You ain't Kendrick Lamar. You ain't Drake. You ain't Eminem. I don't know who you are, bro.
Man, hey, you got to explain that hat though.
Oh, the Atlanta Black Crackers?
Yeah, what's that? I ain't never heard of it.
Oh man, what's funny was I hadn't heard of it either. When I saw the hat, I thought it was dope, and I'm a big Googler, so I did a whole like research project in like 5 minutes before I bought the hat. And ironically,
in the store,
yeah.
Right.
And ironically, I was so much in love with it. The hat I wore last week is the same one, except it's an Atlanta Black Crackers hat. Except it was a different kind of logo. It didn't say it on, but it was the same thing. The Black Crackers was a Negro League team based out of Atlanta. And what happened was with the Negro Leagues, what you saw was, and by no means am I a Negro League expert, you know.
Right.
And you can go to Kansas. I think it's in Kansas City, the museum.
Mm-hmm.
Go there for the research. I'm just telling you what I learned a little bit. But apparently, back in the day, the Black League would kind of like make a alternative to the white team. So at the time, the team in Atlanta was called the Atlanta Crackers.
Mm.
So let's say you had the Mets in New York, it'd be the Black Mets. The Tigers, it'd be the Black Tigers or whatever. I just made those names up. But in every city, it would be the Black so-and-so, the Black this, the Black that. So in Atlanta, you had the Atlanta Crackers. So we had the Black Crackers. And that was the team for a while in Atlanta, you know. So, and I think it's a cool kind of name.
Yeah,
you know
Black Crackers.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
But I was a real Negro League team. You know what I'm saying? The Black Crackers. So I got this hat. I got the one I wore last week, the gray one.
Mm-hmm.
Dope little fact, you know what I'm saying? Dope little.
Yeah. I'm always intrigued. Yeah. I'm always, because I was like, Black Crackers, what's that? I got to make sure I
love it when I travel, and I go on, because I travel a lot and I'm on the planes and I would throw it on, and you know, my Caucasian brothers and sisters, you know, looking at me like kind of.
Black Crackers.
Yeah.
What?
But yeah, shout out to the Negro Leagues, man. And I think I saw where just recently MLB decided to allow the Negro League records to integrate into
the
and a lot of people are mad about that, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's dope because, you know, those players was just as good, if not better, than the players that are playing in the regular major leagues. You just weren't allowed to play because of discrimination.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let them records let them rock. If the steroids records can rock, you know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa and McGuire and all them. So yeah, that's my
McGuire.
Black Crackers hat.
Oh yeah. Man, it was so crazy. So I saw something today, kind of, you know, reminiscent of what you just said. It was a rejection letter that a gentleman had received from a medical school. It was dated 1959. It was a rejection letter saying that he was being rejected because he was a member of the Negro race.
Wow.
Just think about how many years ago that was.
That's crazy.
That's short amount of years, right? If you think about it, it's what, 60 years probably?
Yeah.
Maybe my math is right. Like, wow.
That's crazy.
Crazy. You would expect something like that to be, you know, late 1900s probably, maybe. But yeah, it was dated 1959, right? And so kind of like the Negro Leagues weren't allowed to play, you know, sports with you know, their white, you know, counterparts. They had to have their own. And just still to think that still kind of permeates itself today, right? In a lot of different things, right? That I know we had many conversations talking about like Black culture, and representation in Black culture. You know, and I find it interesting. There's a lot that happened this week, man.
Well, yeah, that's why, you know, you're talking about the Negro Leagues and the fact that Black people, we had to have our own you know, back in the day. And even then, you look at like Black Wall Street and the massacres in Oklahoma, where we try to have our own, and even then it was sabotaged.
Right.
And you fast forward to today, a lot of people in our community feel like our culture is being sabotaged. You know, we talked about culture vultures. You know, and yeah, a lot has going on with that. And I think these are important discussions. But I want to preface, at least from my standpoint, these discussions that I'm totally all about inclusion and diversity, and I'm about unity among all races and among all people. You know, I love all my brothers and sisters of different races and cultures.
Agreed.
However, at the same time, not even however, right along with that, I think it's important that we all be treated fairly, though. And I think that, like, sometimes as Black people, it's unfair, some of the things that are happening. And I think that we got to correct some things. That don't mean I don't love everybody, and I want us to coexist together. I want to work with my brothers and sisters of other cultures within this culture, within hip hop.
Yeah, absolutely, within the culture.
But again, it's about respecting us and about just going about things the right way. And some of these things that we're going to talk about are questionable at best. You know, or I'm sorry, at the very least questionable. At the very least, we got to at least bring the question up. Are these things right? Are these things culture vulture activities?
Right.
You know,
I remember.
You know,
that's right.
Is this culture vulture stuff going on?
Culture vulture activities.
We got to bring it up because we got to correct things, and we want to make things better for the future generations. Because if we don't, we could wind up seeing our culture stolen right before our eyes. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah, that's the man. That's the thing, right? Because a lot has happened today. Well, not even just today, just
this week.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the things that caught my eye, you know, kind of speaking of, let me go back for a second.
Okay.
I'm an inclusive individual, right? I love when I say races, I mean, there's a human race, right?
Yep.
And so everybody's a part of the human race. We may come from different backgrounds, ethnicities, you know, cultures and experiences, but I mean, we're all part of the human race, right? And there isn't one race that is better than the other, right? We all are on this planet together to live together, to gel together, to collaborate, you know, together. In saying that, right, there are, in my perspective, when certain ethnicities establish what their culture base is going to be, the question then becomes, who has the ability to speak on that culture? Who then becomes an authority in that culture, right? To be able to talk about I'm always about definitions, right? To define the culture, because I think that gives it parameters. I think it gives it legs and life to what that culture actually stands for and what it represents. But then the question is, like, especially like, I know what we're talking about specifically is Black culture.
Yeah.
And who has the ability to represent Black culture, to speak on behalf of Black culture, to say, because we talked about this last time, right? Like, who are the gatekeepers? Who are the authority figures, right? We talk about leaders within the culture. Who are the leaders within the culture that are, you know, being the I don't want to say the gatekeepers, right? But I guess that's kind of the word, of the culture, right?
Is there a difference? Like, I want to set this up properly. And I want to be surgical how we set
let's
this
be
up.
surgical about it.
Is there, because you mentioned speaking with an authority within a culture, is there a difference, a way to differentiate between someone with an authority in the culture or just someone with an opinion? Like, can you have an opinion at all? Or do you have to be an authority to have an opinion? Or like, what's the difference? Because I can have an opinion, right?
Right.
But that doesn't mean like I'm an authority, or who even makes you an authority.
That's the right.
So I want to set that up. I want to preface all that when we talk about the Michael Rubin Breakfast Club interview that kind of went viral.
Crazy.
And, you know, you all could Google it, look it up. But Michael Rubin, well, first of all, the question, you know, Charlamagne was asking him was about, you know, and this is why I did have a problem with Michael Rubin speaking up, because the question was, came to Michael Rubin about, the little baby pictures with him hugging little baby, and that might have looked a little homosexual, they call it suspect, whatever. He was kind of behind him, hugging him, and
right.
I know like Blueface, was different people in the black community was making fun of him and attacking him and all that, and how Meek Mill was like, I think, doing bunny hops after a tennis match they lost, and he was hopping like a bunny in front of him and all that, and it kind of looked a little demasculating, maybe, I don't know, but and my thing is, if that's y'all thing between two friends, why would you record it?
Why would you record it and then
like if that's y'all thing, whatever, that's y'all business. Right. Y'all play like that or whatever, but why are you gonna record it and put it? That's just kind of weird. But anyway, so the questions came because you were accused of being a colonizer, basically. I'm not saying you are, but you're accused of that. So because you're accused of that, well, I don't want to jump ahead of it because
go ahead.
In case y'all don't know, Michael Rubin, in response to that question that Charlamagne asked him, he was saying that he didn't like how it was black on black criticism. Like, it was all these black people were attacking Little Baby and Meek Mill and James Harden and all those that came. Why is it black on black hate? And my only problem with that was, of course, it's a good statement to make, but you can't make it because you're the one that's accused of being a colonizer in the situation. So you, like, they're accusing you of being a colonizer, so you don't have any like credibility in this because you're the accused. They're accusing you of colonizing them. So how can you talk on it? You know what I'm saying? Because if anything, you're trying to like make an excuse for your colonizing. And I'm not saying he is a colonizer. I'm just saying that's what the accusation is. So you can't say, "Oh, well, that's black on black hate." Wait a second. Are you a colonizer? Let's answer that first. Let's deal with that first.
Are you a colonizer first? I think that's the thing, right? Are you invited into this? Let me go back for a second. What's a colonizer? Is he invited into? Because see, when I think of a colonizer, right? If I go back to American history, if I get my American history right, they came in under the pseudo guise of we're going to befriend, the American Indians, and then we're going to try to kill them all. We know that's the end objective, right? Is that we're going to kill them all and take their land. I think that was the mindset in the very beginning. Right. I think it was, let's come in, let's befriend them, let's put on a facade, let's put on a show, and then when their guard is down, because they eventually let the guard down, right? Then that's when we're going to do our thing. Yeah. And so, if we look at, is that the definition of a colonizer in this case?
Yeah, I think it's very similar to a culture vulture. It's very similar because you come in, take something for yourself, and that's kind of like for me. I guess we can tackle that question first. About Michael Rubin. Do we consider, because in my opinion, like I said about the culture vulture stuff, I'm not in a position to. I don't know. I can't really just attack somebody. He helped Meek Mill out with Meek Mill. That's how I heard about Michael. That's how I heard about Michael Rubin. He was a part owner of the 76ers at one time. He helped Meek Mill. Meek Mill was being really unfairly treated off a probation violation. Kept getting locked up. Ridiculous. The judge, who was black, put him behind bars. It's all black on black, right?
We're gonna talk about that because I got some my own individual opinionated thoughts on that.
Well, think about it, because Rubin stepped in then about black on black.
He did.
So even that's kind
of he helped Meek Mill in that situation.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's kind of touchy because the judge was a black woman still, a respectable black woman still, and she had her reasons. Now, it might have been ridiculous, but
was she hating on Meek Mill?
You got to go back and revisit that. I think, didn't she want him to do a song with like Boyz II Men or something like that? Didn't she have him?
He was like, nope.
It was something weird she wanted him to do. I don't know, but I don't even remember the facts on that. But that's how I heard about who he was. Right. And of course, he started the Fanatics company. They had the Fanatics Fest this past weekend. It was really, really big. I got a lot of Fanatics gear. A lot of my hats are, not this one, but a lot of my hats are Fanatics. I wear Fanatics gear, you know what I'm saying? They got a dope line of it. Like, the company's dope he built. He built a dope company. I ain't gonna front on that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, these white parties, man, and it's just kind of weird to me. This fascination with all these black people, and they all come to your house, and like, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying, to me, it just seemed a little weird. That's all.
Well, because they know that, with they know with black culture, man, that it's going to do what it do. Like they know that this is a very successful business to be in, right? The exploitation of black people and the exploitation of black people in sports, in music. Like they know that. They know, especially those two. Oh man, they could.
But what if he's just
eat for days?
But on the other side, what if he's just a fan, a genuine fan of hip hop, who happened to become a billionaire, self-made billionaire, and he
may be.
Think about it. Like for example, I love DJ Quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I'm a billionaire and I had access to fly DJ Quick out and do a concert with him, become friends with him, and just be buddies with him and all that.
Right.
I would do it, right?
I would do it, bro.
So is he wrong for if he like these black rappers and he helping them out? Of course, Meek Mill's. I think they went together to buy lids, the company lids, whatever. He bringing Meek Mill, Robert. I don't know.
I mean, dude.
So I'm not at the point where I want to automatically say he's in the wrong. I'm just saying the optics of it looks a certain way, and you got to be aware of the optics.
Do people have the same opinion from Jimmy Iovine?
Jimmy Iovine has been attacked. I remember,
you know what I'm saying? I
remember Royce the 5'9", I saw on his Instagram page. He made a good point, man. There was a scene, Game had dissed the rapper The Game had dissed Dre and 50 Cent and all that.
Right.
I mean, Eminem last year, a couple years ago.
Right.
And there was a scene where they were at a Laker game, and Game walked past Jimmy Iovine to say something to him. Jimmy Iovine kind of ignored him.
I remember that.
And walked away from him, and everybody was clowning him. But Royce is like, hold on. You made millions off this black man right here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You going to have at least the respect to at least acknowledge. I know he into it with your boy and all that, but again, Jimmy Iovine probably is just being real loyal to Dre because Dre is his guy. Loyal to Dre. You dissing Dre. But as a white, you got certain things as a white man, you got to understand. You got to be cognizant of stuff. You can't try to embarrass this black man who made you millions in front of everybody. You have to. It's certain rules. It's just because I'm gonna work on that. Bro, I get it. Regardless of what this is, somebody you had no problem making millions off of. You know what I'm saying? And you can at least have the decency to shake the man's hand. You know what I'm saying? Or if anything, try to talk to him. But just try to turn your nose up at him and walk. So, and again, I'm not saying Jimmy was wrong, but I think as a guest in our culture, you have to be cognizant of certain things. Like I said, I don't think Michael Rubin is a bad person. He seemed like, I don't know. He seemed like he's cool, but you got to be cognizant of certain things, though. You have to be aware that as a white man, you just got to be aware of stuff.
So the question is, as you stated at the beginning, can he not have an opinion on the culture that he's been invited in and has helped in whatever facet? Does he not have the right to have an opinion? Because that's kind of what that really is. Does any person who is non-black, do they have the right to have an opinion of the culture that they have been invited in? Does Eminem have an opinion? Can Eminem state what he likes and dislikes about black music and black culture? Right? Can Jimmy? Can Michael Rubin? Can whoever?
I think you can, but you got to be careful. Unfortunately, you have to. But again, though. Perfect example. I'm here at this great studio recording. This is your place. I'm always.
It's our place now, but hey.
But I'm always. I'm not walking here like it's my place though.
Right.
I'm respecting.
I get you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm respecting the rules of this place. I'm not just kind of doing whatever because it's not my house. You understand? Same way when you invite into our culture, you just got to be. You're welcome. You welcome me here. Very nicely.
Yeah.
I'm welcome, but I'm not gonna just do whatever I want to do. I got to be respectful.
You're not gonna go to the fridge and make a sandwich and sit on the couch and eat and be like, hey.
So I think the Eminems, the Ivines, the Michael Rubins, they absolutely can have an opinion, but they got to be careful how they state it. And even when they do, they still got to be prepared for because somebody gonna get mad.
Because somebody gonna get mad. I think that's the thing, right? Somebody gonna get mad. Where's is Leroy Cohen making a statement, or is Rick Rubin making a statement? Any non-black person that makes a statement about anything that happens within hip hop, they're gonna get a text. Just like Michael Rubin got a text like, hey, we appreciate what you're doing, but you can't comment on black culture. And the question is, Did he really comment on Black culture though?
Yeah,
Hmm.
he did.
What did he say specifically?
You got to put the clip up, but he said specifically Black on Black.
Black on Black, right?
Like that's it. That's enough context
Is
right
it a
there.
fact though? See, okay, so here's my thing.
Yeah. It's a fact. He's talking about Black people attacking his homeboys for hanging with him and stuff doing with him.
Yeah. So it's but I guess and I don't know, people who watch this back and you get in the comments, you know, if you got some shade you want to throw against my way from what I'm about to say, it's all good. I'm a mature 49, soon to be 50-year-old man in 2 weeks.
It's okay to like have a good discussion, disagree, you know, just don't be disrespectful.
But is it true? Schoolboy Q said there is no Black on Black anything. I disagree with you, Schoolboy Q.
Oh, that's a lie. Yeah.
It's a lie, bro.
That's a lie.
He was like, there isn't Black on Black anything. No, there is.
Yeah,
there's Black on Black. Oh, bro, there's Black on Black hate.
Absolutely
Black on Black hate. And so for him to say that, when I read that comment, I was like,
I think he was just out of emotion. I think,
bro, you that's a lie right there.
I think a lot of, because including me, I felt the way when the first time I literally heard him say Michael Rubin, I felt the way immediately, but I couldn't put my finger on what it was. I just didn't feel right hearing him say that.
Right.
So I just think that a lot of us just reacted.
I think he was just reactive.
Went to Twitter real quick or X and just said something.
Yeah.
You know, but
I mean, so that's the thing, right? So he made a comment, Black on Black hate. I mean, it is a factual statement. I mean, because, and the reason why I say it's factual because there's evidence to prove it, right? If there was no evidence to prove it, then I mean, you're just speaking out the side of your mouth. But there's evidence to prove, and we can look and see that there is Black people who absolutely hate other Black people and cause violence to other Black people, right? We use the phrase, and 2 Black guys sitting here, we use the phrase, "What's up, brother? How you doing, my brother?" Like, "What's up, King?" Right? But we don't treat each other that way all the time, right? And if we really treated each other that way, then other people who are outsiders wouldn't have any justification to say, look, they have Black on Black hate for one another. Even though there's, and I don't even like that term, Black on Black hate, right? Because it's not Black on Black. It's not white on white. It's not, you know, Asian on Asian or Chinese on, it's violence happens within the culture that you are in, right? So
yes, but technically it's Black on Black. Technically, if it's a Black person,
I'm just saying
from a technical standpoint.
I mean,
and I think that the whole point of the whole Black on Black phrase is the fact that as Black people, we ought to have enough pride from what we've been through to not want to harm each other.
We should.
But circling back though to make my point, 'cause I think I didn't make my point too clear at first about Michael Rubin. The problem is Michael Rubin was moving the goalpost because what he was describing wasn't Black on Black hate. He was describing Black people constructively criticizing a Black man being in submission to a white man
for his behavior and actions.
Yeah, that's not Black on Black hate. That's simply like, why is Meek Mill bunny hopping for this white man on the tennis court? Though. Why is this white man demasculating, coming behind your back, hugging you like in like a sexual weird kind of manner? Right. That's not Black. That's literally like asking. Now, maybe some of the, I don't know, like Blueface was real disrespectful in his tweet back when it happened. So some of that stuff is kind of like negative hate, but the general idea of criticizing that is the point, and it's not Black on Black hate.
Yeah,
that's criticism. So Michael Rubin kind of changed the narrative here, and as a white man saying it is even make it even worse. That's all. That's my whole point.
I get that.
The point is, are you a culture vulture? And if you're not, just say you're not.
Just say you're not. Just say, hey, you know, and state the fact that, you know, the reason why I'm speaking up and being so vocal about it is because he's my friend, and I see people attacking my friend, and so I want to stand up for him and protect him and his dignity and you know, his humanity from people that I think are coming against him. Be a man and say that, right? Because as men, we have the ability to defend our friends, regardless if we Black, white, whatever the case. But the question of the day is, how do how do indie artists, music creators kind of navigate that?
Yeah, right? What if you got a rich white investor that want to invest in you?
And then they want, this is that's my same issue when you have people who go up to record labels and they got all the white people sitting around the room and there's a person jumping around on the
Bobby
table.
Shmurda. Yeah.
It was Bobby Shmurda.
The famous one.
Right.
There's been others after him.
There's been others.
But he was the one that kind of started that whole thing.
And it's like Dance Monkey Dance type thing. Right? It's like
tap dance.
Why is that the submissive thing to do is to perform in that manner, right? So so what if you had a white millionaire, billionaire investor who wanted to invest into your career as an independent artist, but then they had certain stipulations and requirements and things that you had to do in order to gain that, that financial backing from that individual?
Or how do you vet them as just a person? Because let me tell y'all something. This is specific to all my brothers and sisters of different cultures, my white brothers and sisters in particular. As a black person, we always, not, well, I don't know if I can't speak for all black people, but for me, when I meet a new white person, unfortunately, I'm always, okay, I got to see where they at in terms of the racial spectrum as far as being a racist. Everybody have to vet them. Everybody. In the back of my mind.
You got like a checklist?
Oh, I'm just saying, I'm just wondering, I'm like, and when they close their door, do they say nigga at home? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm curious.
So how do you vet them though?
I gotta get to know them, And my thing is with anybody, this is a life hack in general. Let people talk, Give them time. Give it time, let them talk. They're gonna tell you about themselves. Just give them a chance to and experience. You gotta have life experiences with them, Like for example, I'm not the dating expert, but when you're dating somebody, you gotta give it at least 1 or 2 years before you get too serious, because you gotta see them in every season of life. You gotta see them go through all kind of stuff to see how they act. That's just a free game about that. But anyway, I always go through a thing. Like for last night, for example, I was helping them. I was at work last night, and it was this elderly white couple that was lost and just confused, and it was like almost midnight, and they were just trying to get to their hotel, and I literally helped them. I walked them all the way dang near to their hotel, dang near. But I'm thinking in my mind, I'm always thinking, in 1960, what side were they on?
Oh, man.
You know what I'm saying? Were they one of the ones that are racist? But I always think about that when I have an old white person. I'm always thinking about, how were you in the 60s? You know what I'm saying? But, so we, as a black person, you go through that. You always are wondering the motives of other races, So, when you got an investor, you probably want to see who you get in bed with. But a lot of times, folks just excuse stuff because they want to get to the money. And
That's
again,
true.
as an indie, we say it every week now. We ain't telling you what to do, but have some kind of moral compass. Have some kind of questionable behavior. You got to check.
That's right.
If
they got questionable behavior, if they're asking you to do things that go against your principles, go against your morals, and just things that what, that's weird. Why would you ask me to do that?
And this is a good season for that, with this whole election coming up and the whole
man, they're gonna ask y'all to
the whole division stuff with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. It's gonna be a whole thing going on. So it's a good time to see what all your white friends, even your black friends too, see where they stand. Because I said it before, I'm gonna say it real quick and I'll be done with it. You don't gotta vote for Kamala, but how you treat her, how you talk about her, I'm paying attention.
Look, I saw a post earlier today about, he was like, I seen the disrespect. I think they pronounced her name wrong.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
He was like, disrespect.
Here's the thing. Even myself, I didn't pronounce it right. That whole clip about CNN, I learned how to pronounce Kamala right. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. So it's not the fact
a lot of people like Kamala.
Yeah. It's not the fact that the lady didn't know, but it's the fact the lady was like, I'll say it however I want to say it, and kept saying it wrong. That's the disrespect right there.
Yeah, that's the disrespect.
When they corrected you, because it's real simple.
Right. My bad. Let me go and say it the correct way.
Yeah, she did a commercial back in I think 2016 when she was in California about say comma and then la, Kamala. Super simple. Ever since then, I got it right. But the lady was like, I'll say it however I want to say it.
That's disrespectful.
All right. And then when Dr. Dyson called her out on it about that, you're calling me a racist, you maybe you are, maybe you're not, but that's racist what you're doing right now. And most definitely as a white lady.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, B is watching those who are being disrespectful. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Like Lil Pump. Lil Pump.
He will call you out.
Lil Pump should never ever, first of all, I think he's pretty much done with the culture anyway, but he shouldn't ever be let back in ever. ever.
We gonna close them, lock the door, chain
Yeah,
the
Lil
door
Pump.
up.
You said Lil Pump on his Instagram called
No, I didn't see it.
Vice President Kamala Harris a B
Oh, I
over
didn't
and
see
over
that.
again. Yeah, man. Like Lil Pump. And if any rapper that works for Lil Pump, I'm looking at you sideways. Sideways. And I don't care if he apologized, because he probably gonna apologize at some point and try to get back in, and then you're gonna have some people try to work. No, you done, bro. You done. You don't get no respect. Like that's just yeah. But bringing it back home. If you're looking for an investor right now, this is a good time to kind of watch how they navigate this.
Yeah.
Where they are. You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't care if you're a Trump supporter or whatever. I'm just talking about the respect to a black woman,
right,
and a black culture. Ever since Obama came in office, people have been exposing themselves about how they feel about race. So all I'm saying is just pay attention.
No, I think ever since Trump came into office.
Well, no, it started with Obama. Though.
It started with Obama. But I think for me, Trump was the floodgate. We were clearly able to see positionally where people stood in regards to their perspective on black people.
Yeah.
Like it was now in the forefront. Like for years, beyond slavery, but it was kind of like the subtle, right? Oh, subtle comments, microaggressions, things like that, right? Well, when Trump came in, the floodgate was like, boom, we gonna tell it like it is. If we don't like black people, we don't like it, right? I mean, and it was kind of like, boom, we're gonna tell you, but anyway, bring it back, right? So whether they're an investor, whether they're a person who's interested in being your manager,
engineer, anybody that you choose to work with as an independent artist,
anyone.
I just say kind of watch them in these next few months. Kind of watch them a little bit. And again, you don't got to be agreeable and everything, but it's about respect and dignity. In this country, we got to learn how to respect each other. But a lot of people can't help who they are. If you squeeze something, whatever's in it is going to come out if you squeeze it hard enough. And these next few months, it's going to be a big squeeze going on. And some people aren't going to be able to help themselves.
Right.
Watch their Facebook, Watch their Facebook posts, what they're reposting, what they're liking on Twitter and Threads and Instagram. Mm-hmm. And you might not want to be in bed with these people because we got to take a stand for our culture.
Right.
We can't give our culture away. And a lot of times we give it away because of the money factor.
Man, I think this, oh my gosh, bro. I think we've given the black culture away freely. Just to say, hey, here y'all go. Come on in, as long as you can pay us, as long as we get the money.
What's the thing? Even with this whole, because bringing it back to us specifically, we're hip hop media, period. And we're African American. You started this. This is your platform as a black man, right? I'm gonna give you a round of applause because I think you got it. I was telling you after last week, this whole platform you have is excellent, and that's why I was like, yeah, I'm down with it. And as a human, I want to see any human succeed, but especially as a black man, I want to see you succeed. So I'm all for it.
True, I want to see us succeed. I mean, I get it,
but though when you look at like Complex's hip hop media power list, there's a lot of people that aren't in the culture, even Complex. And it's like, who is our culture ran by? You know what I mean? And but the thing about it is, artists have control who they go to do interviews with. They have control who they give access to.
You do.
Who you support. You have a lot of control on that.
You do.
That's why also, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, all the podcasting I'm doing, all the stuff we're doing in Indie Unplugged, We Create Music TV, I'm paying attention to who rock with us and who don't rock with us.
Me too.
I'm paying attention. And I'm gonna see who you run to, because I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I think one of the solutions for black media is that we got to do a better job of staying on our A game. We got to be excellent in our platforms, in our podcasts, in our blogs. In everything we do, we got to be excellent because they're trying to take it over.
That's right.
And we got to make sure that don't happen.
And man, not only are they trying to take it over, because I'm looking and I'm watching and I'm going, how are they? I don't hate on anyone, right? I don't. Honestly, I don't. I'm always just watching as to how other people who come into black culture, especially black media, and make it. And I see them the trajectory. I mean, they're just going. I'm like, yeah, that is so crazy.
Yeah.
And then you got podcasts like this one and maybe others that may face a little adversity trying to get in, that type of trajectory. But it seems like it's so much easier for them to move. I'm not going to name any podcasts in general. I've just been keying into a few. Like, I see y'all. I see the clientele of guests that you have on your show. And it's like, you're getting access to all these people, right, within the culture to come onto your show to raise your platform.
Yeah.
Up, and up. I'm just paying attention.
I think the key is we gotta do the work. We gotta do the work, and we gotta work harder, and we gotta my view on podcasting is like, I'm so dope that if it was just me by myself, I could make a dope podcast that
gonna make it.
That will be beneficial to the audience.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That will be helpful. I'm so dope at what I do because God gave me the ability, all glory to God, that I can pull off something that'll be beneficial. So I'm going to work extra hard to bring it to the people, and I'm going to be relentless about it. And that's got to be our attitude. And if you're watching out there and you got your own podcast, you got to have that attitude. Don't worry about what nobody else is doing. Don't worry about the ones that said no to you. The ones that say yes to you, maybe it's a artist that's not as popular, but he or she said yes. You get them and you make it the dopest interview in the world. You know what I'm saying? And you keep doing it and you keep doing it and you keep pounding at the pavement. Because remember, you are the superstar. You're the one that God called to do this. So just go in it with confidence and just don't be relentless about it. Because we got to be on that, though, B, because they're trying to take over, man. I saw this thing today. I think it was the Kids Take Over platform. They had a panel, and they were going to interview Joy Badass, and they had a panel for August 29th in New York City. And it was about a hip-hop media panel, and there were no Black hip-hop media companies on there. And
yeah, that's crazy.
Black Twitter revolted, and the guy, he had to cancel. He had to put an apology out, and no shade to him because his platform is good, and the platforms on this panel, the ones I knew about, were good. But it's like, where are the Black platforms? You know what I'm saying? And this is the reason why I get so passionate about certain things. About why I tell people, don't be lazy with your calling. If you call to do a podcast or you call to do some kind of music, whatever it is, don't sit back and wait till it's comfortable for you to do it. Because the world needs it, especially my Black creatives. The world needs you to start your podcast, do your media platform, because they're trying to take it over. But you waiting for the right time, for the right look, because you want it to be, you being selfish. You want to do it when you want to do it. No, the world needs it. You call to do it now. If you're looking for a sign, this is your sign. You're supposed to do it now. Stop waiting because they're trying to take it over. Meanwhile, you waiting for the right time, or it's not, it don't look right to me, or you know what, I don't feel like doing it right now. Meanwhile, they're stealing our culture away from us. And you sitting back talking about you don't feel like doing it. Nah, man. You gotta. So I got an update. I got an update for you. Okay. I don't know how this update how it pertains to what we talked about last week. You know, last week we talked about good old Nelly being arrested, right? Yep.
You know.
And I turned around, I had an opinion on it, but you changed my opinion on it.
No. It ain't. It doesn't change the opinion on it. Oh yeah, you talking about with that? Yeah. So I got a homie that lives in St. Louis. Okay. Still, I got a whole bunch of homies that live in St. Louis. So he sent me the thing the other day. So how he and I met is that we were the very first students to go to Nelly's Extreme Institute. Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When the school opened up, there was no.
What was that? What is that? Extreme Institute.
So Extreme Institute was Nelly's school of music production, engineering. He partnered with Battle Rock College back in St. Louis to open up this facility that taught music production, engineering, artistry, things like that. Right.
Sounds dope.
It was called EI by Nelly. So the EI stood for Extreme Institute.
EI.
Yeah. Right. So my friend and I, we were the very first students.
Okay.
They had just opened a school. The guy who was the head engineer, the actually ran the school, Carl, was giving out scholarships. Anyway, long story short, I got a scholarship to go to the school, take mixing class with amazing mix engineer.
Oh.
But anyway, so we talked about Nelly being arrested. He sent me this thing. My friend sent me this thing. He was like, yo, check this out. There's a studio in St. Louis called Shock City.
Okay.
Right? Big studio. A lot of people come through.
Okay.
When they go to that studio. EI by Nelly had been shut down for like a while, right?
Okay.
I think Nelly still owned the name, probably. I don't know, right? Guess what Shock City got? A music school. Guess what the music school is called?
What, EI?
Extreme Institute.
Okay.
I was like, wait a minute. Like, is that what happened? Right? Because, you know, I'm all about trying to connect stuff. Like, oh, Nelly got arrested. He owned EI. Now they got EI. Was this kind of like a thing for him to, I don't know. I'm just saying
Conspiracy
some stuff.
there.
Right? Conspiracy.
Okay, so and let me guess. The Shock whatever studio is owned by somebody outside the culture.
All.
Okay.
When I say all, I mean all.
Okay.
I went to go look at the leadership.
Okay.
All. Everybody that's there. The engineer, the assistant, the everybody.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my goodness.
Okay.
But see, when he partnered with Vatterott for that, and everybody knows Extreme Institute because they know Nelly and they know the school, and now they got the name. Now they're trying to capitalize off the name that Nelly had built. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting. I was like, oh.
That's why we got to be on top of our stuff, though, man.
Did they just take it?
We got to be on top of our stuff because they're trying to come and take it from us.
Did they just take that?
I don't know. It's
Wow.
crazy. It's crazy out here, man.
It's crazy. You know what else is crazy, though?
What's that?
This is so crazy. When I read this, I was like, I need to have him. You know what? I wish I had access to DJ Mustard. I wish I had access to DJ Mustard. I need to ask him, what did you mean by album sales are racist?
Yeah.
What does that even mean? How can album sales? So that I was thinking about that all day today. How can album sales be racist? What does that mean for album sales to be racist? Right.
I think what he's trying to say. I think he was trying to say because I think he blamed Drake.
He did.
I think he was trying to say that like that Drake was the reason why like his fans was trying not to. I don't know. Somehow Drake was the reason why they didn't buy his album, and Drake is a white man, so.
But Drake is half black.
I know, but that's just the thing. You know, Rick Ross started the whole thing about Drake being a white man. Rick Ross.
And J. Cole's a white man too. Then Logic is a white man.
But don't get me started with how they be hating on Logic.
Logic's a white man because Logic's half black too.
Yeah.
J. Cole's half black too. So is Drake.
Yeah, I know.
Like we can pick and choose who's black and who's white.
Obama was half white. So.
Obama's half black and half white. Like,
I don't know, man. It's crazy out here, man.
I don't get it.
It's the wild, wild west out here.
But what was so crazy to me though was he blamed. How do you blame Drake?
I don't know. I thought the Mustard album was pretty decent.
I haven't listened to it yet. I do plan on listening to it.
He got some bops on there. Bops on there, man.
I do plan on listening to it.
I think he ought to get back with T-Fly personally. That's just my opinion. I know he mentioned on the one, he got a long song at the end about, I think it's called Pray For Me or something like that, where he talk about God most of the song and about how he trying to get his life together and all that. Cool record, introspective record. And he's talking about how him and T-Fly need to get, patch it up. So whatever. I'm a big T-Fly fan, by the way, just so put that out there. I'm a big West Coast fan of music in general, but he had good. Him and Travis Scott got a good song on there. I think Ty Dolla $ign is on the album. He got some good songs on there. So, but I mean, here's the thing though: record sales aren't really high anyway. You got to work the record, and I saw.
That's right.
I forget his name. I think Demiz. I forget his name. He's a radio executive, retired radio executive from LA. He's real popular on Instagram now. Talking about how the label dropped the ball on promoting it, and I kind of agree. The album was really under promoted. I think they figured because Mustard produced Not Like Us, and he got the shout out from Kendrick, it was going to bolster the album. But it only helps bring awareness. But you got to pick up the ball from there and keep going with it. You can't just rely on it. You got to actually. I didn't see no press run from Mustard Harley.
I didn't either.
I didn't see.
Well, I did. I saw an interview with him.
I saw him on Big Boy. That's it.
I saw him on another platform talking about Faith and Mustard Seed coming out.
Okay, I just saw the Big Boy interview.
I did see that one.
But I didn't see many though. I didn't see many. I didn't see really any digital ads. Like
Me either.
I think that one video came out. I think maybe. Maybe I don't know.
But they probably were just banking on the success of he produced.
And what about these promo tours where they go and perform? Whatever happened to the promo tour?
They don't do that. They wait. They still do that?
They should do that.
They don't do that no more.
I mean,
I don't think they do that anymore.
If you're Beyonce, Rihanna, Drake, Kendrick, Eminem. Like it's only a few people who
Right.
can't, who don't got to do that.
Right.
Most artists should do that.
They should.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know, I guess I think that he was coming off of, you know, Not Like Us, and
That's not his record.
it's not his record though, even though he produced it.
And Kendrick not even on the album.
And that's probably what they were like. Kendrick not even on here. I don't want to buy it, right? I mean, but so here's the thing though. He's a producer. They're like, okay, great.
But here's the thing though, like
it may be great,
but he still, what did he do? 30,000 first week or 20,000?
18.
I mean, listen.
18,000. Let me tell you what. As an independent artist, you move 18,000 units.
He's not independent though. He's not independent.
I get it.
But see, this is what's wrong with labels nowadays. This is what's wrong with labels though. Back in the day, and I hate to be the back in the day guy.
Back in the day when I was young,
some things from back in the day ought to be re-implemented, because back in the day, an album will get started, and the first week is where you get started at. Now you work the album for like 6 months, and see what it could be.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But nowadays, the album come out, if it's a hit, then they'll put, no, you work it.
You work it.
This is your artist. Develop the artist, develop the artist, make it big, you know, work it, see where you can go. Now it's just like, man. So,
first week sales was 18. It ain't.
I think he's more so embarrassed because Metro Boomin out here killing it with his albums. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody had, academics had posted that Ice Spice had 28 the first week, and they were trying to shame Mustard. Like, look at this, Ice Spice is selling more records in the first week than you.
Yeah, but I think if you Mustard, man, you got to like be proud of where you are and just keep growing.
100%.
Because you haven't had a lot of hits.
100%
recently before Not Like Us. So take it, build on it, and keep. Like I said, the album got some good songs on there.
Mm-hmm.
So just build from that. But a lot of times, pride and ego and
that's what a lot of people said.
And it's like, bro, like you looking crazy, man. Like you did a good. Be proud of your body of work, man, and just build from there. Maybe the next album will sell 50,000. Like who knows? Like,
but somebody made a great comment. They said, "Bro, this is just the first week. Like your last album sold more than that. It sold more than that the first week." They said, but it usually takes time for albums to build.
But labels don't think that way anymore.
They don't think
labels
that way.
Think like, oh man, it's a flop. Next one, next.
Oh, it only had 18,000 the first week. Let's move on to the next thing.
That's why I think when you do sign to a major label, though, you got to have an independent mindset. You got to have your own team. You know, I remember Dipset with Cameron and Jim Jones and them, how hearing stories about how they pretty much set up shop in Def Jam offices. They just set up shop in there. You know, people at Rockefeller the Rockefeller artists were getting jealous of them because they were getting more attention because they were up there all the time.
All the time.
They made their own office space in there. You know what I'm saying? They're like, how come they got their own office? They didn't give it. They just took it. They was up there every day.
Squatters.
You know, they were squatting in there, getting to know the promo team. Like, you got to operate like you your own entity, even though you were a major label.
You have to still have that independent mindset, because if not, you'll get too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get too comfortable, too lax, and then the grind. Right, we talked about that, like, you know, that grind to perform repetitive tasks over and over in order to attain a goal. You have to, and this is for the independent art, you got to grind. I mean, like, you got to have that mindset.
Yeah.
18,000 units. If that was an independent artist, that would have been an amazing first week. Amazing first week for independent artists to move 18,000 units.
Yeah.
Amazing. But because Mustard signed to a major, and it's like, it didn't do so well because of the perspective of what they believe a major artist producer should be able to move. And I don't think album sales are, like, I collect albums because I like to collect albums. But when's the last time I actually purchased an album?
Well, that 18K though, are those album equivalent? How many pure sales did you have?
Don't know. That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's only what's been reported is 18,000 units have been moved in the first week. Now, I don't know if that is actual album sales.
You can look at it. It could be. I don't gotta do it right now. But it could be looked up though.
Oh yeah. You can look it up and get the breakdown.
Because they'll tell you. Because a lot of the older artists, like Eminem, for example, a lot of the older artists that sell, the majority of their sales be like pure sales, which is very impressive. Like iTunes, digital download, CDs, vinyl. You know, there are a lot of the newer artists, like Ice Spice, for example. Most of those are going to be streams. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is impressive because, again, I was doing my gold and platinum. You know, I want to have a platinum. You would need, I think, 1.5 billion streams to go platinum. You know, so you need 750 million to go gold streams. I'm gonna do it. It's one way or the other.
We're gonna get it done.
One way or the other. I'm gonna get some plaques, man. But so I don't know. I don't know how many those are pure sales, but my point is, he should really be happy about the pure sales because those people actually spent $10 or more buying your album. So you should really be proud of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing for indies is to say, for me, the thing with indies is to connect with your fans on a continual basis, grind and continuously promote your product, which of course in this case is the album, right? And put that work in. I mean, if it takes 6 months, right? Like if you go through the whole, I'm gonna tell you who has a really great album release strategy. Disc make. I don't even know if they even exist anymore. Disc makers, right? So disc makers back in the day, I want to say back in the day.
I got disc makers boxes for my album in my garage now from 2003.
Right. So they used to give you these
crispy.
They used to make, they used to put out free like ebooks, right? Free little resources. And they have one that is an album planning guide. And it shows you what to do from inception to the very, like literally every single thing that you should do. IRC codes, right? You should do this, you should do, in this amount of time, you should promote it. This amount of time you need to take to submit it to the digital platform. This amount of time you need to do this. While you're waiting on this, you need to get your EPK. You need to do, and I mean, they have a very defined list of everything that you should do to release an album, right? There's another resource. I like resources, right? It's a guy named Scott Orr. When I was thinking about putting together a record label, he runs a organization called Other Record Labels.
Oh yeah,
right. And so
he had a podcast, right?
Yeah, he had a podcast. I went out and bought his books and everything. He has a very defined structure on how to start a record label and how to roll out an album. Right, great strategy that independent artists can use. Nowadays, it's like they don't really push it anymore. They just I loaded up to DistroKid and DistroKid pushed it out, and you'd be surprised. A lot of artists. Man, when I released my album in 2017, I was still promoting my album in 2021.
Absolutely.
Still. Hey, if y'all haven't noticed, I released the album 2017. Go take a listen to it. Like, people just put out an album, 6 months later, they forget about it. And it's like,
or they too cool to. This is what gets me mad. I get real mad.
You was about to say grind my gears.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of that's showing that's a dad.
Right.
A dad.
Grind my gears.
No, really kind of pissed me off, man, when I go to an artist page and can't find no music. Because they never post it.
Because they too busy trying to be a model.
Like, bro, like you make music, or sis, whatever, you make music. What, I can't hear no music on your page, bro.
Bruh.
Like, you know what? You ain't serious.
Let me tell you what.
You ain't Beyonce. I don't know who you are. You ain't Kendrick Lamar. You ain't Drake. You ain't Eminem. I don't know who you are, bro. So show me something. And I don't have a lot of time. So let me just easily,
exactly.
Put a pin, post your latest song in the corner.
Exactly.
At least,
like,
don't make it hard for me to find out. Search, because I'm gonna quit.
I'm like, whatever. How do you have a private page as an artist?
Oh my gosh, you ain't ready, man.
You was not ready.
Get out of here, man.
You was not ready.
Stop playing, man.
If you got a private page.
Stop playing.
I don't get that.
Stop playing.
If you don't have links in your bio that says "listen to my music,"
you
playing around. You're playing around. Like,
yeah.
I don't get it. If you don't have music on there somewhere,
and see, that's what I used to. That was my marketing. That's what I used to do. I used to do that for artists. I used to and I might get back into it. I might get a team to do it. But those were my simple services. Like for a couple, for a little something, I could take care of all that for you.
Hey.
But you need to. If you're too cool to do it, hire somebody to do it.
That's magnum opus right there. See, look.
If you're too cool, I told you, make sure it's done.
I got a whole umbrella company. We Create Music TV is part of it, right? There's a whole magnum opus that offers services to artists, right? We can talk about that, brother.
Yeah. It's not that difficult to do, but
it's not.
But I get it. Maybe you're too cool. Okay, well, but it has to be done.
It's cool. The same thing as lazy. Is that the nice way of saying if you're too lazy?
You know what? I would almost rather like
you too cool.
I don't know what's worse, being too cool or too lazy. I think it's different.
Oh.
I think some people can do it. They just literally don't want to be like, they don't want to seem thirsty. They're scared to seem thirsty. You should be thirsty and hungry.
You should be thirsty and hungry
to get your art out there.
Right.
Who cares how you look, bro?
Right.
Or sis, who cares how you look? You got to get the art to the people by any means necessary within, no hurt nobody, but get your art out there, man. Stop being too cool or trying to look too cool or trying to like, my page got to look a certain way aesthetically. Your aesthetic. Your aesthetic is going to keep you with 10 fans. With the cool aesthetic, nobody know who you are.
Right. And oh my gosh, that kills me so much.
Who cares, bro?
Man, I know an artist who was so busy trying to be a model than trying to be an artist. And hardly drop music. But every time you go to this person's page, they got pictures of themselves. Carousels. And I'm like, yo, where's the music at?
Yeah, if you're going to use that to sell the music, go for it. But the music, come on, man. Let's go.
Like, and then you got artists in your title.
Listen,
I'm like,
it's 2024, man.
On now.
I'm tired of the artists out here playing around.
Stop playing around.
I'm tired of artists playing around. And just for that, like, I'm an artist. And like I said, like, I ain't say this on this platform yet, but I've been saying it for years. Like, part of the reason why I jump back into artistry is because I'm tired of like dealing with jokers who ain't really about that life. And all I'm gonna say is, I can show you better than I can tell you. Because when I put my foot on the gas, it's not coming off the gas, man. So I'm just saying that. Like, and because I'm not about being a talker, I'm about being a participator. I don't want to talk from the sidelines about what should be done. I want to be actively doing it.
Right.
And I don't want to be around nobody that's playing around with this. You know what I'm saying? If you down with the Indie Unplugged, you know what I'm saying? If you down with this, we are people who are about that life. We're not just talking about it. We doing it.
We doing it.
We active, you know what I'm saying? We doing it. You know, we got links on our page. You understand what I'm saying? We got links on our page. We got music on our page. And we are actively serving the people that we called to serve.
Yep.
It ain't about you. It's about the audience, man.
For sure. Oh, my gosh, bro. So speaking of music, right?
Get me fired up today, man. I'm getting fired up over here.
Let's get fired up, bro.
I got on my hoodie. I'm sweating under the hoodie.
Let's get fired up. Speaking of music, speaking of... I was accused of rattling the people.
Okay.
Right? I was accused of rattling the people and seeming like a Trump supporter. What? I was like, what? I mean, y'all don't know who I'm voting for, but it don't matter.
I would say, so what if you were though? Like, I believe people can support whoever they want to support.
You can support whoever you want to support, right? Support whoever you want to support. For me, I've always said it. There's a hierarchy for me for people that I vote for. It's always morals, principles, politics. Right? I know people like, well, we gotta have it's all about morals first. Principles, the morals, the principles, their politics, right? Yeah, I understand, like, oh, this person's gonna, deal with the border. To me, that's not as important as a person's morals, right? Oh, we're gonna eliminate taxes on, what do you say? Eliminate taxes on
state taxes,
waitresses and stuff like that. Great, but that still doesn't sit morally. That's not higher than morals.
Okay,
right? I get it. That's not higher than morals. So I'm always about morals first. But this topic kind of, I guess when I put up so I ended up putting up this. I like to report on news, right? Especially news that's extremely important. That's actually something that I really want to be part of. We Create Music TV is where we report like daily news, like about what's happening within the independent music space. So I made this post. Can artists and musicians stop Donald Trump from using their music at his rallies and on social media?
Yeah.
Right? Some people started chiming in. Oh, yes, they can. They have. Or yes, they are doing this and they're saying yes or no. And it's like, but can they though? Right? So I'm going to say it, right? I'm probably going to get it in text later, but so right now I think today, right? And I don't know this individual. I heard he's a great individual. It's what I'm going to say is news. So it's not throwing shade toward anybody. But I think today they finally entered into, I don't know if it was litigation or if it was actually sent up to the court for Isaac Hayes III, Isaac Hayes' music being illegally used by Donald Trump. Now, You can't illegally use anybody's music. I don't care who the person is, right? I don't care if you're the president of the United States or ex-president. There's process, right, to go through it. Did we talk about that? We didn't talk about. I don't think we talked.
I don't
about
talk about
before.
it off camera.
I think we talked about it off camera.
Yeah.
But can artists, producers, songwriters?
I don't know the legal. I don't know if it's possible or not. Now I will say, I just hate the third, the homie. You know what I'm saying? Interviewed him a few times, man. Cool dude, man.
It's a cool dude.
But I just think in general though, I think it's kind of lame when these artists get mad at Trump for using their music, because it's like your music if your music wasn't popular, they wouldn't want to use it, and them using it don't mean you condone their campaign. It's public music, and as long as they're using it correctly through licensing, because whenever music is played out in public, it has to be licensed.
That's right.
Yeah, you have to have a license to pay it, or pay BMI, CSAC, whoever is the rights holder manages that. As long as you're getting paid properly, who cares? It does not mean you. And you can even put out a statement saying, "Look, I don't condone Donald Trump. He used my song. I'm against him." That's fine. But to say you cannot use my music, I think, again, legally, I have no idea whether they can legally stop it or not. I don't know the law, but I think that it's kind of counterintuitive for you wanting your music to live. You want it to be so big that anybody want to use it.
Right.
I mean, I think is it the Hold On I'm Coming? Dun, 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 dun. That's a very popular song. Everybody uses that song. I'm sure some Democratic candidates are going to use that song. So it's to try to police it and say, I don't want you using my song. Man, look, if you got the legal right to do it, and go for it. But I just think it's kind of counterproductive, because you want your music to be so popular that everybody want to use it.
Yeah, I think
it's a song you release to the public. You don't want to limit your fan base. Trump supporters can look. Let's say I hate Trump, right? I don't support him. Let's just say I hated him, right? If I had a song he wanted to use it, and Trump, I'm not gonna tell Trump supporters they can't buy my music. If anything, I make positive. If anything, it might have a positive effect on him and change him. If anything, so to me, the whole notion. I think Dr. Dre put out a letter against Trump as well, and many artists have. And I think it's all lame.
Many artists.
I think it's lame because I feel like, and again, I love all these people. I love Dr. Dre. Ike is the homie. I love all y'all, but it's just listen, man. If your music is popular, some people are gonna like it that you don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? And it's at a public forum. It's being licensed properly. You're getting paid for it.
Right. So that's the issue. So the issue is that it's being used illegally. They're not getting paid for it.
And
so
that's a little different.
That's different, right? Of course, that's different.
If it's being used illegally and you're not getting paid for it,
there's no clearance.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. So
but I'm assuming any kind of public event has to get that stuff cleared.
They have to get it cleared.
You have to.
Right. So for me.
So wait. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I want to say this though. Now, if Ike and others are suing him saying, "Look, we're not getting paid. I don't want you to use it at all," I'm all for it, because if it's an artist, if it's a candidate that I support using it, I'll let you slide with it.
So that's the question, right?
So no, I agree with that stuff. I'm assuming that Trump campaign went through the right channels. If they didn't go through the right channels, then
that's the issue.
And
right.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it, right? So the issue is that it's being used illegally.
Okay.
But here's the thing, right? So when I made this post, a guy came up and he was like, look, he said, if Trump's campaign went through the proper channels and they got the proper licenses to use the music from the rights holders, right? Not about, in this case, Ike's situation, but anybody, because the post that I made was really about, it was about Adele. It was about Adele and a whole bunch of other people who had made this claim. Just stop Trump from using the music. But if the campaign, if they go through the right channels and they get permission from, and they pay their fee and they get permission from the rights holders, right? Adele may not be the right holder, right? She may or may not. She may just be the artist. She may just be the songwriter. Right now, if she's a songwriter and she has the publishing and she's a right holder on that, then yeah, they got to come to her to do the clearance, right? But if the publishing company owns the rights, the publishing company can say yes or no. They are the ones who approve that for now. Of course, I don't know all the law, right? I study music business, but I'm not a connoisseur of the music business and music law. So if somebody out there knows, you feel free to correct your boy. But I do know that it's always up to the rights holder.
Yeah, well, listen, if
100%,
if Isaac Hayes' music hasn't been cleared, and I'm, the son, and
I'm gonna be pissed,
and I run it, I'm just not even pissed. I'm just gonna stop it. I'm just gonna stop. Like
it's gonna get stopped.
Cease and desist immediately.
That's right.
And at this point, I don't even want your money. Just no.
That's right.
But I just think in general, because from my understanding, and I don't know about Isaac Hayes' music in particular, but in general, for artists, when they're a part of like these performance rights organizations, they take care of all that for you.
They take care of all of it.
Basketball games when it's played, even concerts. When you perform at a concert, whoever.
Well, they take care of the performance rights. So if the music is played at the basketball game, then yes, they make sure they collect royalties on the public performance of that song in that venue.
Like restaurants.
Right. Yeah. So all of those things have to be reported.
I'm assuming the public rallies is no different. It's a public event and you got to like clear all that stuff. Yeah, but it has to be a license. So whoever the publishing entity is, right? So most artists, when you go to not CSAC because you got to be invited, but once you go to BMI or you go to ASCAP, you can sign up as an artist and a publisher, right? You can like I have my own publishing company that I produce all my music under, and I put all that music under there, right? So any clearance of that music as an indie artist has to come through my publishing company to clear it, right? And so if you off that to anybody else, or if you are a major artist and you give your publishing away to that entity, you're giving your rights to that music to the publishing company to do whatever they want to do with it. So if that publishing company says, yeah, Donald Trump and his team wants to use it and they're paying us the fee, we're going to let them use it. And so the guy said, that may be the case. He said, but the venue also, and I don't know if this is right or not, so somebody chime in and let me know. He said the venue also has to have the license in order to play the music in the venue. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. Right? It sounds about right.
It sounds about right to me, but I don't do licensing, right? So I don't know. So one of my licensing, publishing people, gurus out there, let us know. But that's the thing, right?
I think what we ought to do, maybe he'll do it. We can send a message to Ike and see if he want to hop on and give us the real deal about it.
Right. So I had a friend who suggested that. He was like, yo, just reach out to him. If you need me to reach out to him, he said, because I know him. Let me know if you want to come onto the platform to kind of talk about this. I was like, I think that'll be dope. Because I think it helps.
I'll message him when we get off here.
Yeah. Because I think it helps independent artists understand the parameters and use of their music.
I didn't know. I was assuming that like they went through the proper channels and he just didn't like it. Didn't like them using it. And I'm like, well, if they go through the right channels and like that's what it's for.
That's what it's for.
That's
right.
If you using
illegal
but that happens a lot though.
I was about to say that.
There's a whole lot of public use of music that happen illegally all the time.
All the time.
So, because like I said, even like when clubs and stuff, play
all the time.
A lot of these little clubs don't be paying nothing to play the music. They're supposed to though.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
I mean, how many times do you go to like a training convention or like, because I'm in the learning and development field, they're playing like a song that we like to play.
Yeah.
Now, I'm putting us on blast by saying this though, right? But a song that we like to play when people are coming into the class to kind of set the right atmosphere is Happy by Pharrell.
Yep, Happy.
Right? So we'll play that. Now, that's a public performance.
All I do is win, DJ Khaled.
All I do is win, right? It's a public performance.
Yeah.
Even though maybe in a small. Okay, so I was putting together a leadership class, right? A high level executive leadership class I was designing. And I wanted to use clips from Remember the Titans to talk about the stages of teen development, right? And so I actually had to call Disney. Now, I could have just used it. Disney would have never known. They literally would have never known that in my little small organization that I was building this class for, they would have never. Who's gonna call Disney? Brian's using your Remember the Titans clip. You need to get after him.
Yeah.
Right. But I wanted to make sure I was covered. I called Disney. I called their licensing department. We went through the process, and they were like, you can use it free and clear. You don't have to pay us anything. Right. They sent me I said, can I have that in writing? They sent me the letter of use and authorization of use, and I got that, and I saved it, and I was clear to use it. If you go to the proper channels and it's cleared from the rights holders, nobody can actually say anything.
Yeah.
Period. At all. And I think that's important for indies to know, is that you have to understand parameters of your music. As an example, and then we'll move to the next, unless there's something else you want to say about this. When I was working with an artist, we put in his a clause in his contract that stated if he didn't want his music to be right, this was crazy, then we had the right to come back and to state that we don't want his music being used in porn movies, alcohol commercials, things like that, right? Because he didn't want his brand associated with those things. And so we were like, if these opportunities come up, we're going to say no to them because we don't want your image. And that's the thing. It is their image being tied to Trump.
Yeah.
And that's how people receive it. Oh, they played your music, so you must support them. Like Meg Thee Stallion.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But I wouldn't care, honestly. I wouldn't care, as long as the check is clear, you know what I'm saying? Because, and if I have to come out and say, look, I don't support Trump, I'll just make it clear.
I'll come out and say it.
Support Trump, but this is a song, and he feels like whatever, like that's what the song is for. And it's doing what it's intended for.
Here's the thing. Here's and then we can talk about this last part. Here's the thing. You think Trump is making those decisions?
Good point.
You think Trump is like, I want this music? No. Oh my gosh, y'all. I hope people don't think about that. I hope they don't think Trump is going through Apple Music, determining what songs he wants to use.
You never know.
At his rallies.
You never know.
I don't think he is.
Please some of that.
I don't think he is.
I think it's Isaac Hayes. Very, very, very good. Very good guy.
Might sound like a mafia dude.
I can do a decent Trump. That wasn't good. I do a decent Trump though. I'm a little tired. I got a decent Trump. That wasn't the best Trump. I got a good Trump though.
He's a mom. You're going to show him today. You're going to get him. Right?
There's a guy.
I know the guy.
My voice is not right, man. I do a good Trump. I promise you, I do a decent Trump. I'll come back next week and do a better Trump.
I'm hold you to it. All right. Last thing that I thought was interesting. So it was about a month ago that this came out. But I went back to listen to the actual entire interview with Punch on
from TDE.
No. I don't think it's Punch from TDE. I think this is a different Punch when he began his career with This Is 50.
Okay.
This is 50, Young and May, Bobby Shmurda.
Okay. I don't know that Punch. I just know Punch.
Yeah, Bobby Shmurda. It was his journey was very fascinating. I would love to have him on his platform.
Okay.
His journey was very fascinating. He talked about a lot of different. Oh my gosh, he talked about. We got to talk about it somehow in one of these episodes. But he was talking about, and I'll get to that point. But he was talking about the algorithm. He said, when you think about platforms, the biggest platform that generates the largest ad sales is the Super Bowl, right? Most views, people, there's millions of people watching the Super Bowl. He said, now, you look at social media. Cardi B got 1.3. Let's just say she has 1.3. She probably has way more than that, but let's say she has 1.3 million followers on Instagram. You think Facebook is going to allow her to reach 1.3 million people with her music or her product when to pay for an ad for the Super Bowl to reach that same amount of people? It's in the hundreds of thousands.
Oh,
right?
we're talking about Ike. Isaac Hayes. That's his big argument with his fan base platform about how Instagram is not going to allow you to,
Exactly, right? So the reach and not allow you to reach that many people. And they said, of course, so they had to come up. The big companies was like, no, y'all can't do this. Y'all got to stop this somehow. And so that's when they introduced the interview. The interview was friggin' awesome. But anyway, in that interview, he mentioned hip hop having an adult genre. I thought that was very interesting. I had heard it before.
Yeah.
I think it was from him that mentioned it. And I was like, I want to go back and kind of listen to this again.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you think about other genres of music, they
rock, classic rock,
classic rock, soft rock, adult contemporary rock, right? And they got so many different rock subgenres, right? Rock categories that
even R&B now. They have a is it called traditional R&B? I know they got a couple of different R&B categories now.
They do,
where they're not all lumped together.
You know, when you really think about it, actually, from a Billboard perspective, hip hop is hip hop. From a Billboard perspective, classic rock, soft rock, pop rock, all these different categories on Billboard. Hip hop is hip hop, right? I think R&B is R&B.
I think hip hop and R&B are together.
They may be together, right?
Yeah.
Or they may be. I think they're together. And that was his thing. He was like, "Why are certain R&B artists or artists who aren't even hip hop being classified as hip hop?"
Mm-hmm.
He said he was like, and you know what? It made so much sense. He just say, "Why does Nas have to compete with
Lil
Yachty or high school?" He was like, "Oh, this guy who just graduated high school like the other day, Nas has to compete with Jay-Z, has to compete with them." And he said the reason why you don't see a lot of those artists dropping music is because they got to compete against people who are 30 years removed from now. He said, so we need an adult hip hop category. And it makes so much sense.
I don't know if I would call it adult necessarily, but I do think there needs to be separate categories.
Mature hip hop.
Maybe because you might have some 18-year-olds that might make the kind of music that Nas makes. So they should be comparable. So I don't know if it's an age thing, but it should be maybe content or even traditional, so like a lyrical hip hop. People who are about bars,
But they got adult contemporary rock, adult contemporary, country.
True, but could you be a 14-year-old making adult contemporary?
Nope.
How come you can't? How come you can't?
I mean, when you're not an adult.
No, but what if you sound just like Garth Brooks?
But adult, I think adult.
You know what I'm saying? What if your production sounds the same?
But I think the term adult is synonymous with mature.
Yeah, I just don't know if I want to do it with an age thing. I
mean, like, do you think Dolly Parton is, if she's putting out a song, she has to go against? Now I'm about to name some country. I don't know a whole bunch of country people, right? But
Morgan Wallen, right?
Right. Somebody like Dolly Parton, do you think they have to go against a younger generation of artists?
I think it depends on the output, though. I just think that maybe you can categorize it in it. I'm just making room for like these young artists who want to be lyrical, who want to make traditional hip hop. They shouldn't be compared to Lil Yachty either. For example, out of Detroit hip hop is kind of really like taking over. It's really like you got your I Swear Vezos, you got Skilla Baby, T Grizzly, like all kind of people, right? But then you got young guys named, who you probably never heard of before, a guy named Courtney Bell. He's a popular rapper in Detroit, but he's lyrical conscious kind of rap. Rap's way different. I think Royce the 5'9" has him kind of under his wing, right? But he shouldn't be compared with. He should be compared with Royce the 5'9" and them, and Eminem and them. He's young though, but he's rapping like lyrical, mature rap. And it doesn't even sound the same as. But he's the same age as these guys, So it's kind of like it's not fair to him because he needs to get recognized for his talent and skill. And us purists, we should encourage these young guys that want to be lyrical because they're trying to take lyricism out of the game.
True.
So it's like when Corday came out, YBN Corday, he was with he was like wow because he was part of the YBN. We thought YBN was YBN. Was it YBN the Mayor? YBN, I think Jay. They were like ratchet but he in the same crew, but he lyrical though. We like, whoa. So we kind of plucked him out of there and put him up here with J. Cole and Kendrick and them. So it's not fair that he got to compete with his counterparts because he's not rapping like them. So put him over here and maybe it's like I'm not saying I got the answers to it, but I don't know if age is the answer though. But I do think it should be a separate category for hip hop. Separate categories within hip hop. I just don't know if you want to base it on age. That's all. But I'm not saying I got the solution for it. But I don't think that's age is a solution though.
No, that's a great perspective. Understanding is it age? Is it right? Because when you think of adult is mature, right? That's And so instead of them saying mature contemporary rock, they say adult, just to state that it's, you know.
And I don't condone.
I mean, because when you think of R&B, like we got grown and sexy, right? You don't find, a young 16-year-old music in the grown and sexy R&B section, right? We understand grown and sexy are people who are probably 45 and above, right? And it's an age that falls into grown and sexy R&B.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even think that's a real R&B category, but
I don't know. I mean, I don't condone this, but what if you got a 50-year-old guy want to make ratchet hip hop? Maybe
I'm sure you do.
I think
I'm sure you do.
You might look crazy, but I would defend his right to do it, though.
I'm sure you do.
No,
and that's okay.
And if you want to do it, then yeah, he'd be compared to Yachty and Future
Right.
and them and whoever, if you want to rap like that, put him in a category. So I think the type of output you're making should determine the category, not necessarily how old you are necessarily.
So maybe not an adult hip hop category,
or you can call it that, but just you can call it that if you want to, but don't restrict it to just age. Because it could be like a younger guy, like again when Corday came out or Courtney Bell, and there's several others. Right. They don't get to shine though. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's probably why, because they tossed in with all these other rappers, their age, but they rapping like on some mature, traditional hip hop stuff.
Right.
So put them in a traditional category so they can get their shine.
Well, maybe there's like a traditional hip hop or something like that, because that kind of was Punch's point. Is you have artists who, so as an example, he mentioned Jay-Z's 444, right? Uh-huh. Probably was in Punch's perspective was in the comment he made, Jay-Z's least performing album. That's subjective, of course. But whatever the numbers can tell how many units were moved for.
I gotta look that one up because Jay-Z got the cheat codes, man. He gonna always come out with like hundreds of thousands. He gonna partner with somebody to buy albums ahead of time. So I think 444 did pretty good.
It probably did, but I think pretty good in comparison to the scene that he's currently in today, having to go against.
I gotta look that up, though.
All these other. I got it right. So I don't know the numbers specifically, right? According to his statement, he stated that 444 was Jay-Z's lowest performing album.
I don't think that's true.
Based upon the numbers of sales and the ability that he's dealing with a different generation of music listeners. Like honestly, I mean, I like music from Jay-Z. I want to hear a Jay-Z new album or Nas. Of course, Nas did drop a new album, and so he made the comment of the Jay Hill made the comment of, he was like, "What about Killer Mike though? Killer Mike just won a Grammy." He was like, "Yeah, Killer Mike won a Grammy because of the Grammy board, not necessarily because the music was popular in the street with the culture of hip hop. It got a Grammy because of the Grammy." And as a member of the Recording Academy, I understand how all that works, right? We think it's, and they should, right? Maybe that's another topic. I think the Grammy should actually be open for everybody to vote, but that's a different conversation.
No, I don't agree with that.
I do,
because that's what you got the People's Choice Awards for and the other awards for. There's other awards for people to vote. The Grammys is specifically for musical peers.
It's peers.
Only.
I get it.
So that's for. We got awards for the fans already.
I get it.
So don't. You got the Billboard Awards.
I think there should be something where, but those others, not to get off topic, aren't as prestige as the Grammys, and nobody else has to say so.
Because it's prestigious because these are the people that actually doing it. That actually do it.
It's peers, right?
Yeah.
So
it should be some.
And trust me, you are marketing to your peers, right? I get all the Grammy.
And they campaign like Killer Mike campaigns. From day one.
I trust me.
He campaigned from day one.
Trust me, I get it all.
It's all political.
I get it all.
And for what it's worth, take it with a grain of salt. These awards because it's political.
Trust me, I get it. I see it. It's political.
When you say prestigious, but did the streets really respect that? The Grammys. Not as much as before, because like when they changed the mixtape rule, I said it on the Free Game podcast with Will, and we argued about it, and I was right. I said, "Oh, he's gonna win the Grammy this year." Chance the Rapper. No, Chance the Rapper.
Chance, yeah.
They changed the mixtape rule, and it just so happened he put his mixtape out on Apple, I'm like, oh, he's gonna win a Grammy. It's all campaign, bro.
It's all
I'm like,
campaign.
they doing this, and he won a Grammy that
Yep.
year. It's like, okay, it's like a joke to me now because it's all like it's all like a setup and about political and campaign, and so a lot of us don't put so much stock in Grammys anyway.
And the reason why a lot of people don't is because nobody sees or understands any of the. So as an example, right? And y'all can do whatever y'all want to do. Who sees these tallies of votes? I don't know who sees the tallies of votes, right? Of who says this person got this many votes or this person got this many. We do it for every other voting system. Presidencies, mayors, right? You see high school elections. This person got 308 votes. This person got 299 votes.
And you know
when it comes to the Grammys, you don't see who vote. None of those.
That should be something that should be brought out there.
You don't see none of it.
Let's see it. Let's see it.
You don't.
Like MVP, so-and-so receives 3 first place votes, and so-and-so. Put it out there.
Put it out there.
I say put it out there.
I say put it out there. But anyway, that's a different topic. But I just thought it was interesting. I watched that whole interview with Punch just to hear that. You
gotta send me that because I don't even know who the guy is. First of all,
just
second of all, I'm curious now.
Yeah, it was a really good interview. Shoot, I'm gonna reach out to him so you can get him over here. But
do it.
I thought it was dope. But so maybe not a adult contemporary, adult hip hop. But there should be categories.
It should be.
There should absolutely be categories.
I agree. Nah, I shouldn't. Like LL Cool J dropped an album this year, right?
He did.
Well, it's not yet. It's coming out.
It's
coming out in like 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
September, I think 9th or 8th, something like that.
The latest song was dope though.
Oh yeah, with the for Proclivities.
Yeah.
But all 3 songs were dope to me that he dropped. All 3 of them. But for consideration for Grammys, any awards, he shouldn't be compared with like who else dropped this year? I don't know, 21 Savage, somebody. I don't know.
But that's the point.
He shouldn't be compared to that because that's 2 different categories.
That's the point. That's the point that Punch is making.
Be comparable with each other.
That's the point Punch is making, is that there should be different categories that everybody is falling into and categorize, so that when they do go to Billboard, they do go to the Grammys or these different award shows, and LL shouldn't be competing with 21 Savage.
I agree.
Like, and that's his point.
And I'm saying I don't know the solution.
I don't got the answer.
I'm just not sure if you want to specifically do it on age specifically. But maybe. But if you do it on age, you got to make exceptions because younger rappers that rap like traditional should get recognized too. Otherwise, they'll get lost in the sauce in their own age group. You know.
That's right.
So good stuff, man. But if you at home, you know what I'm saying, got aspirations, you know, you ought to be paying attention because if you want to have a Grammy one day and you want to be rapping when you 35, 40, still, you want to be judged properly, so you should pay attention as well. Join your local Grammy chapter, wherever you at. Join the Grammy chapter and get involved.
Heck yeah.
You know.
Man, it's always a pleasure, B. For sure,
Definitely a pleasure, man.
Definitely a
Once
pleasure.
again, I ran my mouth.
Please do all the time. Hey, if y'all don't know, he over here rocking the
Snoop Dogg dog supply clothing. You know what I'm saying? Always repping hip hop stuff, man.
Oh yeah, I'm representing basic attire, golf. Like
that's what's up, man.
Mature.
That's what's up.
This is like old man wear.
Hey, Snoop is like 50 something. He, you know, I'm about the culture, man. You know what I'm saying?
True.
I'm about the culture, you know.
True. I need to go get some more culture-esque gear, like the Black Crackers Atlanta hat. You know what I'm saying? Like
for sure, man.
Maybe I'll start wearing all my St. Louis hats. But
here's the thing, though. You don't know who's behind all this stuff, man. Like who owns this? You know, I don't know.
Don't know.
Does Snoop Dogg own his own stuff? It's in Walmart. I know Walmart making money off of it. Does Snoop? I don't know. So. I'm hoping so too. I know he getting paid from it, but who does he own it? I hope he owns it. I hope so.
That's another conversation for another day.
So in other words, I'm not trying to act like I'm self-righteous about wearing it, you know, because I don't even know who's getting all the money from it. I just know the Snoop name on it, and I'm rocking with it. So
that's right.
That's that.
So man,
Black Crackers.
But man, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate it. We appreciate you tuning in to this podcast episode once again of the Indie Unplugged.
Yep.
Of course, I'm your man, Vaughan.
Brian Onrea.
And y'all have a great rest of y'all day, evening, whatever the case.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.